was your initial concern, I guess it was. And the reason I'll say this, let me preface this by saying this. I thought that a lot of our pastors were just kind of misguided in terms of what their real concern was.
Right.
So share with that, and then we'll talk about it on the.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I think for me, my initial concern when it really started amping up was my people. Because I started thinking, and this is more of a political administration type answer.
Right.
We weren't prepared for this.
Right.
It was something that, it went from something that's out there to something that is very real. It's reality. So my initial thought was, I haven't said anything from the pulpit.
Right.
I haven't given any kind of warning. So that was my first thought. And then the second thought was, okay, there's a chance that this is going to become something. We need to start preparing to transition everything.
Yeah.
And while I was there in Africa, really and they'll tell that was that maybe first day, I started thinking, okay, start thinking about worst possible scenario, what happens next?
Because so many of us as pastors were caught off guard.
Absolutely.
Nobody, I mean, just the whole society was. And so and that's why I knew your initial thought was going to be your people, because you're a real leader, a real shepherd is going to be like, look, okay, how is this going to affect my people?
Right.
The thing that concerned me was a lot of folks were concerned about, okay, how can we get back into our build? Does that mean we can't have, large numbers of folks coming into our building?
Yeah.
And we didn't realize that it's not about how many folks you can get in the building. It's about ministry and about really saving lives and protecting your congregation. And so I knew that was going to be your answer. We didn't have a pre-interview, but I knew that was going to be your answer, because as a true leader, one of the things about being having bold leadership in a time of crisis is to be able to simply say, you know what, I'm really laying down my life for him. I'm really going to sacrifice whatever is good for me. It's going to be about people. It's going to be about the ministry. It's going to be how I can help people, survive this whole thing. And we don't know how long it's going to be. And so I think that's but a lot of us were just seemingly, our colleagues were concerned about, okay, but what does this do to my bottom line? What does it do to my money? What does it do to my, how come I can't get people in the building? What would happen if we don't have church Sunday?
Yeah, and
believe me, that's a thought, and this. Pastors don't like to think about that.
No, that was a hurdle that I had to kind of cross as well, because I think the truth is those are always your sort of initial frustrations. But for me, I think what sort of pushed me was that I don't have the answers. I don't know how long this is going to be. And as long as I stay focused on that, I'm going to sort of limit progress going forward. So going forward, my message to leaders and to pastors, because I actually did a conference call while I was in Johannesburg. Okay. I had my key leaders. I had pastors from around the country, really, that we got on, and it was, you all, this doesn't seem like it's something that's going to
it's going to go away, really.
This looks like something that's going to become, at least temporarily, the reality. And we have to prepare ourselves that our sort of worst fear, so to speak, that's going to become the thing. So now it's time to move off of the questions of when is it over to what needs to happen right now.
Right.
And we shifted quickly. We shifted, and one of the things that was very important to me was that every single ministry of Kingdom Fellowship transitioned to online.
That was amazing.
I don't know.
And that's what just jumped out to me, because you moved everything. Every ministry that you do moved to online, because you don't know And the idea of it was amazing. Was just so genius to me. And I thought to myself, we need to make sure that, of course, I'm following suit. I may be older than Big Brother, but I follow suit. My little brother's idea is just a good idea. And so I was like, we have to try to shift from this, but the first shift that had to be made, watch this, had to be the mindset.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I was troubled by, and and I'm sure you saw it, and even with the leaders that you've talked to, and you also started a Facebook group, which is amazing too. But the thing was to try to get these leaders to stop thinking about, I got to get back in my church next as soon as I can. I gotta shift my mindset from, okay, well, when we can just get back, we can just survive, and because the thing is, you don't know, you can't control this, and we as leaders don't like being in situations that we don't control.
Well, we're uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and see, so it's like, okay, but see, the quicker we change our mindset, the quicker now we can move into what's going to be happening now and how we can help the people now. But yes, the first shift has to be the mindset.
And I think that's where many leaders, I think they were sort of behind the shift, was because it was almost as if there was a refusal to accept the reality that's there. And that is, this is here, this is going to be a thing. We are going to be sort of, in a lot of ways, out of our church. And now we have to grapple with the reality that ministry has to go forth.
How can we do
touched? But how do you do that without your comfortable position in the pulpit?
Right. And your usual routine. And it's amazing how, and then the other flip side, I'm sure you heard this, was the whole faith thing. Oh no, wait a minute, we're children of God, and listen, absolutely, we are children of God. We believe we're covered by the blood of Jesus, but we also have to be smart and practical and have some common sense to help people. Because these leaders can get to the point where I'm just so stuck with, this is my usual, I'm gonna say it because I can talk to you. It's my usual show. And if I don't do the show the right way, if I can't do my show, I can't function. So now,
here's the shift: is that you had to get to the place where you had to come to that moment, look it right in the face, and say, "This isn't about me. This is literally about my people." And for instance, with Kingdom Fellowship, the vast majority of our church is a younger generation, which means that the vast majority of the church, based off of statistics and things of that nature, may have contracted the virus or been asymptomatic. But it wasn't about that either. It was really about the most vulnerable of our congregation. And then you're taking that back to York. And it got to a point to where you had to really, really understand that it's not about you. It's not about your convenience. It is, should I purposely put my people in position to suffer or to contract something? And again, and I'll be very, very, because again, we brothers, so we can talk about it. It was uncomfortable, yes. And I have reservations about certain things that I'm hearing and seeing. But at the end of the day, we have to make decisions regarding the welfare and the well-being of our people. And that has to be, very, very important.
If we don't handle this right, you ain't gonna have no church to go back into anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to lose people. And this crisis has flipped everything upside down. It has changed the dynamic. And so now, as you understand that, then it's like, okay, once you get people safe and secure, and you have transferred everything to online, you realize you're still doing effective ministry.
You're still doing it
online, and you're reaching, probably, watch this, more people then you would be able to get into a building on every.
And I haven't shared this. I haven't shared this with you, but I'll say it here, and this can be verified and backed up by my team that may be watching now. We have in the last 2 weeks that this has really been it's taken hold. We have done exceptionally well.
Right.
That you know, the Lord has provided. He's blessed. And it's really shown us that ministry is really about touching people. It's about discipleship. It's not about our comforts. It's not about all those other things. We have to be able to shift out of normal, shift out of comfort, and really, really, you know, as the sons of Issachar did, know the times and know what we got to do and shift with it. Period.
And see, the thing is that your people will move and flow based on how you move and flow.
Absolutely.
You jump in and you are calm and you're trying to, you know, you're reassuring everybody. It's like, you know, Joshua and Caleb. I talked about it last week, but Joshua and Caleb still the people. Calm down.
Right.
But if the leader is mad and frustrated because they can't get what they want
off of that,
then all of a sudden now the people will never move. The people will never progress, and they will, and slowly they will stop being fed because we're sitting there trying to force our way back into a building, and we're gonna go ahead anyhow. We go, no. Listen, the Lord allowed this to happen.
Absolutely.
The church world upside down, and it has.
Well, you know what?
It has changed everything.
Even thinking about Joshua and Caleb, and the Bible says that Caleb specifically, it uses that term, that he had a different spirit. That even those, his contemporaries, those other leaders that went into the promised land and saw what was going on, they came out with that negative report. But Caleb came out with a different report. Him and Joshua, he had a different spirit. And a part of my, the thrust that I have in ministry is not simply to go with the crowd and parrot the same statements that everybody makes. Yeah, this is difficult. It's challenging. We're all challenged by this, but there's an opportunity here. Why don't we seize the opportunity instead of allowing the challenge to dictate, you know, what we see and what we say?
Well, you know, Sunday I was preaching about Habakkuk and about how his name means either wrestling or embracing. And in the first part of the book of the book of Habakkuk, he's wrestling with what God is doing.
Right.
He's having a problem. He's like, I really don't understand what you're doing here. But by the end of it, he was embracing. He said, it doesn't matter what happens. Now I'm good. And see, the sooner we learn how to embrace it and look at it as a problem, we look at it as an opportunity for God to do something new and for us to be able to expand our borders. Let me jump. I know we're, you know, usually I'm only for about 20 minutes, but, you know, we're going to go a little longer.
You can't get two preachers together.
I know you didn't listen, you know, especially us. We can talk all night. But how did you, and what was the reason for the group that you started on Facebook? And give us the name of it and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, and again, I started that when I was in Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
And the name of the group, I think, and help me with it, is Pastors Connected During the Global Crisis.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was several reasons. And you know, we started the group, and now it's a large group. You got pastors from all over that are there, and there were several reasons why I started it. You know, number one, this is an unprecedented sort of time.
Right.
No one in our lifetime has really dealt with anything like this. So to think that we could face this alone, in my opinion, would be unwise. So I thought this is an opportunity to bring pastors together, because I don't have the answers. You don't have the answers. Nobody really has the answers. We're going as we receive this news. So this will be a great time for us to come together, bounce ideas off of each other, encourage one another, and help one another.
Yeah.
The second reason is, and a lot of people may not know, some do. I actually work. I'm a bivocational pastor. I actually work in local government here in Louisville.
Right.
I'm the faith outreach specialist, which means that a part of what they ask me to do and pay me to do is to bring pastors together for the purpose of engaging with local government. So for me, this was also an opportunity as a pastor to say, why don't I try to get as many pastors together, not only to bounce ideas, not only to connect with one another, but at least for those in Louisville as well, connect them to valuable resources, information, and things.
Right. Yeah.
But that first thought was really the big thing.
Yeah.
We need one another.
Yeah.
There are days where,
it's interesting because, and I know you got a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts about, what you're doing and how do you do this or how do you do that?
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful idea to bring leaders together because we all are better when we get wise counsel, when we collaborate, when we connect with one another. And I was honored you invited me to be on. I'm like, look, I am close to Louisville, but I'm glad to be a part of this.
Listen, we had to have you on.
So I appreciate that. But I think that's a wise idea, and I think that this is one of those situations that's going to bring us together. It's going to make open more communication. And anytime we're communicating and trying to help, because we're not in, it's not competition, and we're not because all of us in the same boat now. So it's not
all of us.
So your mega church is in the same boat as a
Listen,
small.
Everybody got the same size church now.
Exactly. But I think that it's an interesting discussion. Now, what do you feel? How's your focus moving forward? In other words, what do you think the new normal is going to be? How do you think? Do you think? All right, I'll put it to you this way. You posed the question in the group. Do you think it's going back to what it was?
No, I don't. I think that in a very, very subtle.
Chandrella says we're two peas in a pod. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Chandrella said we're two peas in a pod.
I to be honest, I think that very, very subtly, and maybe not so subtle, but I think normal has shifted. I think that when you look at our interactions socially, when you think about what has happened and how that will have an effect psychologically and emotionally, things shifted. And I think that when people think, I want to be done with this, and don't get me wrong, I'm ready for it to be over. I want it to be over. I go through times during the day where I miss my people. I miss
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
I miss the congregation. I had a moment today.
All that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a moment today, and I just said, man, I miss being around them. I miss being there.
Yeah.
But even with that, I understand that normal isn't going to be the normal that we once knew.
Right.
I think it's important for every leader, every pastor specifically, to understand that when the social distancing, when the sheltering in place, when that comes to an end and we come back to our houses of faith, it's going to be imperative that we realize there's a new normal.
Yeah.
That people are going to think differently. People are going to view things differently. And then here's the other part. I think we as leaders are going to have to be prepared that this won't be the last pandemic, which means that there may be times coming where we have to shelter in place again. Yeah. And I think that now it's going to change the way we lead, and it's going to change the way we prepare. And it's going to cause us to be more thoughtful about ministry and what we do.
You just said something very key in terms of how we think and how we prepare. I think that a lot of this has caught a lot of pastors and leaders flat-footed because they were fighting the whole online, experience. And and the leaders that are going to be effective through this have got to be able to figure out how can I be effective in reaching
Right.
people that I may not see every week, you know,
Right.
that may not actually physically be in the building. And when you understand that, these leaders are going to have another congregation, another campus, if you will.
Yeah.
And so when you understand that, you'll start ministering to that campus as well, instead of just saying, okay, that's some folks maybe watching this online, I don't know. Because a lot of folks just caught flat-footed, and you know, now and then some are still working the kinks out, some of them still look like it's a hostage video, but that's okay. Keep coming, keep on trying. But what we got to do is we have to learn how to shift our thinking.
Yeah.
In terms of how we view people, and realize that the future church has arrived quicker than we thought it would.
Much quicker. And here's the thing. This is what I have found out, that we have to rethink our methods, our methodology, as it relates to discipleship. That the time of ministry sort of circling personality, and sort of being that the focus being on a person's individual gifts, the pastor's individual gifts and talents, that time is expiring. Yeah. You're going to have to think. I mean, here's what's happening, and I know this because in the last 2 weeks, I've talked to so many pastors and given so much advice. You're finding out in many ways how strong what you built really is.
Wow.
What people are finding out right now, what pastors are finding out right now, that if you built a ministry, if you built a movement based off of your personality and your personality alone, it is not going to survive this moment. You have got to have a structure, a method, a biblical foundation in place that allows you to disciple people in various ways. And I think for us,
that's awesome.
And I always love bragging on Kingdom Fellowship because it's just an amazing, I love what God is doing at the church and many other churches as well. But we started putting things in place that were centered around connection and unity and lifestyle evangelism and connection with brothers and sisters. So now what has become the real bread and butter of ministry, it's not just the preaching on Sunday morning. It's not just the Wednesday night teaching. It is the fact that we have a mechanism in place where people are connecting to other people and really checking on them every week. And they're having individual prayer calls and they're having times of encouragement. That's what is going to be necessary in this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to find out, listen, over the next several weeks, we're going to find out who's really actually preaching out of the Bible and who's been...
Listen. It's a whole situation when you preach and teach and so if
you have substance, you're going to survive. If you don't,
listen,
you might not have a church to come back together.
If you are nothing but fluff and there's no amen corner, you're going to struggle. And I think to be as real as possible, this probably needs to happen.
Yeah.
It's time for men and women of God everywhere to understand what the call is all about. The call is not contingent on the amens. It's not contingent on pushing the preacher.
Right.
It's not contingent on your ability to close. It's about you being able to communicate the message and seeing people discipled and grow and really do that in times of distress. This is what
they need.
It's finding out time.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna find out. But I'll
find out.
Now, see, we can talk all night, but it's past our bedtime. But anyway, I love you, man. I appreciate you.
Man, listen.
We got to do it again, and we'll probably do it again soon. But
listen, anytime you call me, you know I got you.
Man, listen, you trying to get back out to LA, but it's coming. It's coming. You already know.
You know, listen. You know, my motivation is always to get back out to LA.
I know it. But I certainly appreciate you, and man, you were awesome tonight, and you helped us And all of you that are on here that are normally on Facebook Live, I appreciate y'all coming over.
Yeah.
And I think there's a way you can share it. If you can, share it, all that good stuff. But we have been blessed to have Pastor Timothy Findley Jr. with us. And and happy birthday to your mom.
Yes, happy birthday, Mom.
So I shouted out, I gave her a happy birthday earlier today, but I'll give her a shout out at the end of the day too. But I thank God for you, man, and we will talk again soon. All of y'all, my Facebook people, we are going to, we'll see you next week. Watch several good services this weekend. I'm praying for you. I love you all, and then when you get to Louisville, one of these days I'm gonna go to Louisville, again. But
listen, when they lift the travel ban,
But anyway,
listen, when your president lifts the travel ban.
Wait a minute, I got to get my president back in there. Then that means Obama be running. Anyway, all right, love you all. God bless you. I'm praying for you. Check us out. We will be follow Tim everywhere on YouTube, Facebook.
All of that.
Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. I love you. God bless you. And we will talk soon.
All right, bro. I'll talk